Good morning. This is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. Fire potential impacts for the next couple of days include some heat across southwest Idaho and northwest Nevada, as well as some thunderstorms on the wetter side across the south. Tomorrow, the thunderstorms make another push northward into the central Idaho mountains, where there'll be a mix of wet and dry. We see a little bit more enhancement in our storms across eastern Nevada and some gusty winds moving into far northwest Nevada and the central Idaho mountains. On Thursday, the winds expand a little bit further across the north and west, but we also see more wetter type thunderstorms moving into Utah, southeast Idaho, and western Wyoming. Yesterday was an active day for storms across Nevada, and then we saw this cluster of storms in the central Idaho mountains. Some of the storms in Nevada were accompanied by a little bit heavier precipitation. Initial attack for yesterday, we had 19 fires for 1,491 acres and 1,200 acres on our large fire growth. Precipitation for the past 7 days is shown here, still showing the precip mainly over eastern Nevada and into mainly the southern mountains of Utah. Still, our dry pockets continue to be over northwest Nevada and Idaho. This doesn't include any precip from yesterday across central Nevada. Our ERCs continue to be on the lower side over central Nevada, where we have seen more than a few days worth of thunderstorm activity there. And we're still continuing to see very high ERCs across the central Idaho mountains, southeast Idaho, and even northern Utah, where those areas have been drier. The satellite imagery this morning continues to show high pressure dominating the western U.S. With warm and really hot temperatures area wide. We can see a little bit of moisture in place underneath the ridge that will kick off those thunderstorms once again today, mainly over Nevada. And then we have this low pressure trough over southwest Canada here that will be moving along the border, and that's helping to draw some moisture up into the Great Basin. So again, for today, high pressure centered over the basin, hot temperatures, a little bit of moisture in place over mainly Nevada for those thunderstorms once again today. Closer look at the precip here. Best chance for storms over central and southern Nevada. Some storms moving back into the higher elevations of southern Utah today. Might see some isolated storms across northwest Nevada. And then a few storms here or there in the central Idaho mountains and western Wyoming. Minimum relative humidities are in the teens. Tomorrow, that low tracks a little bit further eastward and southward. This will draw moisture further northward into Idaho, so we do have high risk for a return of some of those storms in the central Idaho mountains and on the Payette here for tomorrow. Closer look at these areas for the precipitation. So a better chance for a heavier precip once again over eastern Nevada and then up into western and central Idaho, where we'll see kind of a mix of wet and dry thunderstorms there. Utah still staying somewhat on the drier side on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we'll start to see some gusty winds moving into far northwest Nevada ahead of that trough. Otherwise, gusty outflow winds from any of the thunderstorms that develop. On Thursday, as that trough continues to move eastward, we'll see the moisture moving eastward in the Great Basin as well. We do have wind out ahead of this low, so we have high risk for northwest Nevada and the central Idaho mountains, where those wind gusts will be strongest, and then a better chance for thunderstorms over Utah on Thursday. So again, looking at where those thunderstorms are expected for Thursday, eastern Idaho, much of Utah, southeast Idaho, and western Wyoming, and then the wind gusts really pick up over northwest Nevada and into the central Idaho mountains, where they'll be gusting 35 miles an hour plus. The 3-day precip totals are shown here. Again, a pretty good chance of precipitation over eastern Nevada and over some of the higher elevations of Utah. And then we also see this band over southeast Idaho into western Wyoming. On Friday, some drier air continuing over the central Idaho mountains, but we do see this little kind of front here over southeast Idaho into northeast Nevada, where we could see storms continuing on Friday. And then by Saturday, really starting to see the drier air moving in. Maybe some lingering moisture with some storms up here in the northeast, but otherwise drier air. And then that dry air continues to move in for Sunday. Southwest flow across much of the area as the high pressure moves off to the east. and drier continuing on Monday. The precip totals for the next 7 days show most of the precip is coming in the short term, but um, after Thursday into Friday, we will see a little bit of an enhancement in moisture across southeast Idaho and western Wyoming with that little front. The extended forecast for July 30th through the 5th calls for above normal temperature across much of the central U.S. Will be very warm across our area and below normal chances for precipitation. This concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.